be talking about her new duology, Warcross. We're not going to be spoiling things, and if we do spoil things, I'm going to warn you, so don't worry, you can watch. Right?
We're all good.
Right? We're good.
We're gonna do this.
Do you want to tell us what Warcross is about? I mean, I have a book talk, so you guys should watch it if you want like extensive information. But
Christine is awesome.
You can give us like your pitch.
My spiel?
Yeah, your little spiel.
Which I'm still like working on. I've been working on this all year and it's still not quite right. So Warcross is very near future science fiction. It's set 10 years in the future.
Oh, 10 years? 10 years?
10 years.
It's
so super soon. Yeah.
That's scary.
It's like today, basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Hideo's gonna be he's already born. He's like 13 or something.
Oh my god, so he's like inventing
11.
Warcross.
He's doing it right now as we speak. So it is set in the very near future, and it's about this boy named Hideo Tanaka who invents this game called Warcross that just takes the world by storm, and everyone is obsessed with this game, including the main character, 18-year-old Amika Chen, who starts off the story as a bounty hunter living in New York City. She's kind of down on her luck. She's got $13 to her name and pretty much nothing else, and she gets kind of desperate, so she hacks into the game with consequences that are both awful and amazing. And the story kind of goes from there. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it happened to me, so.
Especially being in her situation, like, she was in a tight spot there.
Yeah. I mean, how much worse could it have been from there?
How was it writing someone who's a little older now?
Yeah,
Legend
were super young. Yeah, they were like 15, which is now I look back and I'm like, oh my god, they were children.
They're babies.
And Adeline was 16, Amika's 18. I don't know if it's because when I first started writing Legend, the characters had been in my head since I was a teenager. So Adelina, like every single one has been kind of progressively getting older as I kind of find my footing in young adults. So, so it's kind of fun to be a little bit more free with Amika.
How young were you when you started Legend?
I mean, officially, I first wrote a story about Day when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
So that's why he's 15.
Yeah.
And that just never changed.
It all makes sense.
You know? It makes so much more sense, yeah. And yeah, if I were to rewrite it, I would probably make them a little bit older.
Tell us about like your writing journey with Warcross and how was it different?
The weird part was that it was set kind of in our present day, and that has been different for me because I've never written contemporary anything.
This is blowing my mind here, like the present day thing.
I love that. Yeah, so that's been kind of weird to write about like New York City and Times Square and Tokyo as if it's our actual world, and I realized that I couldn't actually make up anything because it didn't actually make sense. You know? I'm so used to doing that with Legend, which is like 100 years in the future, which is just fantasy at that point.
Yeah.
You know, and Adelina lives in a fantasy world. But there was this moment in the book where she has to make a phone call, and there's a phone number in the book, and so I just made up a phone number, and my copy editor calls me back, and she's like, well, I called this number. It actually belongs to the law offices of like Dr. something or other. And she's like, we cannot put this in the book. And I'm like, oh right, I can't actually make up stuff anymore.
Oh my god.
It was weirdly more fun of a first draft than I usually write. Like I hate writing first drafts. They're miserable. I hate them. Even when I like them, I don't like them that much, you know? But with Warcross, I would say it's the most fun I had on the first draft. And I think it's because there's just so much of myself in the book. I used to work in video games, so I knew I always, it was so fun. And I miss it sometimes, but like I always knew I was going to write something about gaming and about that world. So writing it felt very natural and comfortable for me.
I wanted to ask you about the title. Was it always Warcross or?
Yeah. I think it was always Warcross, as the game was always called Warcross, which I kept miscalling Warcraft in my head for a while, just for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But I am terrible at titles. I didn't come up with any of my titles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and most of them are just kind of like, oh, well, that's the name of the game, so I'm just going to call it that.
Wait, so what were your titles when you didn't have titles?
Well, like, Legend, okay, I originally called Legend Republic. That was my title.
Okay.
And my agent was like, this sounds like a history book. We can't release this. Like, give me something else. And so I was like, all right. And I made like this list of like 30 different titles. Like awful titles. I'm so glad.
Were they like all one word, or were they like
They
long?
were like really stupid stuff. Like Daylight was one of them because it was like Twilight, but but not like during the day. And like The Criminal and the Prodigy, which just sounds like an 18th century romance novel. They're all bad.
I kind of like it though.
And like swirly curly Q writing.
Nice.
Even different kind of story. Maybe.
Well, they turned out like they have really epic titles.
Oh,
Legend,
thanks.
Prodigy, Champion.
It's
Like
all a
those
testament
are really
to
cool.
my agent and my editor.
Let's talk about the actual game of Warcross.
I mean, I'm not a game designer, so it took a little bit of finagling to kind of nail down the actual rules for the game. But it was incredibly fun to make up just because I felt like a game studio with an infinite budget and like no one to answer to. So I'm like, I can put anything in this game. The game is basically like a hugely glorified capture the flag. It's 2 teams of 5 facing off against each other in a virtual world setting. And on each team, there are 5 different positions. Every team has a captain, and there is an architect, someone who kind of has the right tools to manipulate the landscape around them. So there's like a rock bridge, she could collapse it. There's a thief, and she's kind of the one who would be in charge of stealing power-ups. In every level there are these glowing gem power-ups everywhere. Every team has a fighter who is kind of like the offense. And then the last, that was 4, right?
Yeah, there's one more.
And then
this
the
last one was
is
like I
the
couldn't
shield.
remember.
Yeah.
Oh, shield.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They kind of make sure that the rest of the team is, set and will heal them if they have to, or defend them against attacks and that sort of thing.
Okay, so on our team, the Phoenix Riders,
Yes.
we got Rashawn is the shield.
Is the shield.
Okay, yeah, I was writing them out last night and I was like, oh my god, what is his position? He's just like there to help. Like
He's there to help. That's what he does.
Backup. Like it's
He's a
position
cinnamon roll who
backup.
helps. Yeah.
What position would you want to play on a Warcross
Oh
team?
god. I think being an architect would be fun, but very stressful. I feel like you have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah, you really got me thinking like all the time.
Yeah, you can like think on your feet, which I can't do at all. So, I guess I would probably be a shield, practically speaking. I don't think I would be very good at it though.
It sounds like the
know.
noble.
Yeah.
The noble position is a shield.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I'd want to be the shield too. Like, just be there for support when you need it. So, every team has a different name, and you have like a million teams in there, like a million names. I'm just wondering, how did you come up with all these names? Some of them are like Phoenix Riders, but then you have like zombie Vikings.
Vikings! I had a little too much fun with that one, I think. I just figure, because if you look at, actual esports, there are some weird names out there, you know? Because, if you're forming a gaming league, you want to make a fun name.
Let's talk about each of the characters and where we would sort them in the Hogwarts houses. I'm sure you've done this before, but, it's my favorite thing to do. Hideo, where would you put him?
I think he is Gryffindor.
I think so, too.
Yeah, he is 100% thinks that he's doing the right thing all the time. I would say he's brave and righteous and wants to undo injustices.
And also, I feel like he's confident enough in himself that he doesn't care when someone tries to tell him that he might be wrong.
He's pretty confident.
That's a Gryffindor thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and Amika, what do you have her as?
I never actually sorted her into anything.
I've been thinking her through a lot, and I can't place her like Ravenclaw or Slytherin. I feel like she's one or the other.
I feel like, maybe she's somewhere in the middle. She's a Slytherclaw or something.
Yeah, but I like to have her
I know, in a
nailed
solid,
down.
What would the hat say?
Yeah, what would
the hat say? She's pretty ambitious.
She is.
So I guess she's kind of a
Slytherin. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess under the right circumstances, I could see her screwing someone over.
But did she turn into that because she had to be?
Right. So
is she a
Ravenclaw?
Circumstance.
A Ravenclaw that's been forced to be a Slytherin.
Yeah. Forced into the Slytherin lifestyle. What about Hammy? I love Hammy.
Oh, Hammy. I love Hammy too. Hammy is probably a Gryffindor.
She feels like one.
Yeah.
What about Asher?
Asher.
Is he Ravenclaw?
I want to say he's a Hufflepuff just because he's the captain and he kind of wants to make sure to keep the peace. But, he has a spine. He's not going to let people walk all over him. He is the captain of the team. Hufflepuff with a slight edge, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I have Rashawn as a puff.
Oh, Rashawn is such a puff. Rashawn is the puffiest. Yeah. He's such a little puff.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, he's very, very sweet. He's just kind and wants to make sure everyone's okay. He's always checking on people. Oh, the hat wouldn't even go on his head before it's Hufflepuff.
What's up with DJ Ren? I still can't figure him out.
I think I started writing him just because I really like DJs. And they look really cool when they have helmets, so He has, like, this kind of mask thing that he's wearing when we first meet him, and he's hosting a party, and I just thought it'd be really fun to have him as a character, and he just kind of stayed and kind of grew into his own character, so, yeah.
He's such a creeper, though, like,
he's a little weird, yeah.
He scares me, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the right reaction.
So, I mean, like, would you put him in Slytherin?
Yes.
What about Zero? What can you say about Zero?
What can I say about Zero? So little. I can't say anything about Zero.
And, okay, let's talk about Ken, because, like, I don't know what to do with Ken. I can't completely trust him.
He smiles too much.
Yeah, he's too happy all the time. I, like, what is your game? I have him down as either a puff or, like, a Slytherin, like, pretending to be a puff.
I mean...
Is this a spoiler?
He's a Hufflepuff. It is possible for Hufflepuffs to be led astray.
Yes,
as well.
It is.
No turning back, only empty-handed. Stay where I'm standing. No, I won't back down.
Mute us until this little book goes away from the screen. So Ken, does he know what Hideo is doing? Because he has to know.
I mean,
right?
I'll touch on it a little bit in the second book.
Okay.
But, you know, he is Hideo's very close friend.
Yeah.
And Hideo trusts him. There's a contingency of people who genuinely think that Hideo is doing the right thing, Hideo included. So, you know, he has a couple of supporters.
If Ken does know, then he might just be, like, loyal to a fault in a way.
He's a loyal friend.
Yeah.
So,
maybe Amika can convince him to talk to him for her. Just like Ken is always like, talk to Hideo! Like, let's reverse that. You talk to Hideo. Like, you have more power here.
They're just standing in the corner like, you talk to him. No, you talk to him. No, you.
It's your turn!
He's your friend.
The memories being available on the internet thing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Do you want your memories to be uploaded to the internet? Would you, like, be pro this, or is that kind of scary?
I mean, they kind of already are, right? Like, we've got, like, Facebook, like, telling us, like, 5 years ago, you did this thing. You know, right? So, it's kind of like that, except these are your private memories.
Yeah,
you know? Like, you don't want them necessarily broadcast the entire web.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the next step of video. You can share your memories if you want to, but, you know, nothing on the internet is ever really private.
Yeah.
So
you never know.
Exactly. So you never know who can break into those things, and once the line between virtual reality and reality start blurring, how much more at risk is your stuff, you know, and how much more does it mean when someone breaks into your stuff? It's kind of like hacking into your mind.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
they can use it against you.
Oh yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. We're gonna be okay.
I was just gonna ask you, okay, when Amika puts a memory in, like, the memory chamber, like, she still has it in her brain. It's not like with the pensive when you're like, goodbye.
Right. No, there's no, like, thing sucking it out of her head. Yeah, like, she still actually remembers it.
Yeah.
It's like a storage thing.
So, like, she could hypothetically recreate them and upload them again, right?
She could. She would have to rebuild it and reconstruct it completely from scratch, which is kind of a different thing. Yeah, it would be like you building your own level in Warcross. I mean, Hideo does it with his memories. Yeah. They may not be accurate, you know? Like, our memories are only about as accurate as we let them be.
Yeah. Okay, someone on my comment section mentioned that you mentioned that this is in the same world as Legend. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. So,
it's set like 80 years before Legend.
Does this mean that this Hideo nonsense is going to trigger a war that's going to, like, cause the Civil War?
I don't think that Warcross is what triggers the war, but it is definitely the precursor to the society in Antarctica.
Yes. Is Hideo going to found Antarctica?
I mean, it's his company, kind of, so
like
he lives on through the technology.
And he's like the George Washington of Antarctica now.
Oh dear.
That's what I'm picturing.
He's on all the monies.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, whoa. Because I thought you just, like, were inspired by Antarctica. So when did the idea for Warcross start forming?
It was when I started writing about the Antarctican Society.
Okay.
Like, I think that was when I was like, you know, I would really like to expand on this, but I don't have the room that I want to play with in the Legend series. It's not really about that, so it's just kind of briefly mentioned in Champion, but it was always, after that, it was always kind of spinning in the back of my head. I was like, I want to tackle this again somehow, but I didn't know how. And it wasn't until, a few years ago that I kind of, once the virtual reality thing started taking off in our world, and we started hearing about all this virtual reality technology, I was like, okay, that is the missing piece that I want to play with.
Nice. Because reading about Antarctica and Champion was so cool, and I was like, is this... It was too cool to just, be there, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So I'm so glad you expanded on it, because it's awesome. So they play Mario Kart a
They
lot.
do.
And I was wondering, what's your Mario Kart avatar? What's your favorite Mario Kart land to drive in to play in?
So, the backstory behind Mario Kart in the book is that when I was an intern at Disney Interactive Studios, that was my first video game job. And it was so fun. Yeah, it was so fun. There was me and 7 other interns, and every day after work we would play Mario Kart, and it got super competitive and epic. One of my fellow interns was internationally ranked in Mario Kart.
Oh my god!
So, yeah.
Are you talking GameCube Mario Kart, Wii Mario Kart?
This
Nintendo
was
64
the
Mario
DS
Kart?
Mario Kart.
DS Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 7, I think,
Okay.
which was great because it was the last Mario Kart that let you drift endlessly.
Yeah.
So if you were good at drifting, you could get really ahead of everybody. So nobody else in the company could ever beat us. So anyway, we played that a lot, and so that's where it came from. We split ourselves up into little teams. This is getting really long. We split ourselves up into little teams. There would be 3 of us, and they're like, okay, you're the one who goes ahead. I would be the one who was the enforcer.
Oh my
so
god.
I was in this Cadillac. It's like Luigi in this Cadillac.
Yeah, I know.
Just knocking, knocking people off the track. That was my job.
That's so fun.
It was fun.
Did you play Mario Kart as a kid too? And 64 or before that?
Before that. Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo?
Yeah, the super pixelated one.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I had the N64. It was my favorite thing.
That was great too.
Do you have a favorite board?
The one that I remember the That's so funny you mentioned that. That was always the end round during intern Mario Kart camp. Every day we ended on Moo Moo Farm, and whoever won Moo Moo Farm got to hang a fake wrestler belt over their desk the next day.
Oh man,
So,
you guys are so cool.
We were not cool at all,
but cool in the cool
so
way.
much fun. Yeah, and we were still the best. We just weren't cool.
Are we gonna see more about Amika's mom in the future?
Probably not a lot.
Okay.
She's just kind of been absent from Amika's life. There might be a mention here and there, but she's not going to play a huge role.
So Amika's mom is not gonna come in and be a super big twist.
I am
and,
your mother.
I am Zero. You've got it
She's
wrong.
this is so weird.
So the last time we did a video, you told me about Vikings, and then I got obsessed with Vikings forever. So I want to know what you're watching right now. What's your favorite show?
I love
right
that you
now?
love Vikings.
Oh my god! I binged everything that was out after that, and then
Nice.
no one I knew was watching it. I was so sad.
It's awesome.
Ragnarok! What are you watching right now?
Okay, right now I am watching Into the Badlands. It's not a perfect show. There's definitely some flaws, but it's just so fun.
What channel is it on?
It's on AMC.
Okay.
I think it's after The Walking Dead. The second season just finished, and it was uneven, but it's just best fight scenes on TV. If you just watch it for fun, it is awesome.
So what are you working on right now? What's going on in the writing world of Marie?
The writing world of Marie is very chaotic right now. I am working on book 2 of Warcross.
What stage are you in?
I'm on first revisions.
Okay.
So everything's a mess. The chopping floor is bleeding. The manuscript is bleeding ink right now, so that's the stage that it's at, but I'm glad I'm out of the first draft stage, which is always the worst. I am working on The Kingdom of Back, which is a historical fantasy that's coming out in 2019, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that one is very different from what I usually write. It's a standalone. It's very quiet. It's about Mozart's older sister.
Ooh.
Who nobody knows about.
I know, what?
Yeah, he had a sister.
Interesting.
You would never know, but she was also equally talented. She was a composer, but none of her music survived because you weren't allowed to be a composer if you were a woman back then.
Oh my god. And overshadowed, living in the shadow of Mozart.
Yeah. It's challenging. It's very different, and it was actually a story that I wrote before Legend that I got my agent with.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of like coming back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's 2019.
That's 2019.
Okay,
so
and
we're a ways off.
Warcross 2 is set for
fall 2018, if all
next
goes well.
year. That's awesome. I'm really excited to read all your upcoming works, obviously. You've got Batman coming out next year,
Yeah,
too,
January
right?
2nd.
Oh, that's so soon.
Super soon.
Oh,
I
God,
know,
you have
it's
another.
too
Are you
soon.
going on tour again?
I am.
Oh my
I will
God!
be.
Thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. It was really great, and
It's always fun with you.
I'm super excited about Warcross too. Do you have a name yet? No, right? It's gonna be a big
not
one.
yet.
Right.
Again with the title.
I'm Christine
Marie.
and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.